And I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
disappointing. Though. Hey guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. Rhodri will be back down in just a second. I'm going to have to say all of that again because my son had muted my mic. So apologies for the silent start. So I'll try and fly through all that. If you like this show, we're live every Thursday, myself and Rhodri, talking all things football. Plus, we are also, you can find the audio versions of the Sports Social Podcast Network. We also have the shows like the Big Debate, the fight shows. We got all sorts of content, lots and lots of stuff to discuss. Today's show brought to you by Four Sigmatic Coffee. Four Sigmatic Coffee is a sciencey way of saying really good for you. We've turned the planet's most astoundingly nutrient-dense ingredients into the things that you'll love having every day. The purpose of Four Sigmatic Coffee, it helps people achieve elevated wellness with the world's most nutrient-dense ingredients. They started back in the happiest country in the world, Finland. Their founders, Finnish grandparents, brewed mushrooms when they couldn't get coffee during World War II due to shortages. But it turned out that organic coffee plus functional mushrooms like chaga is absolutely delicious and kicks off a good day every day. Ever since, they've searched for the more exhaustively for studies based to find the best of the best Four Sigmatic ingredients to add to your daily go-tos for focus, clarity, energy, and balance to de-stress. And let me tell you something from personal experience, they are amazing. I have 1 cup a day at around sort of 10 o'clock, because I get up quite early. I get up about 5, do a bit of bits and pieces and stuff. And then I start to flag sort of 10:30, have a cup of this, and it keeps me sharp and good all day. Really, really good. And I've been amazed by it. I got to be honest, it's been quite astounding, and it tastes amazing. So like when I read it, I was like, mushrooms? Oh, I'm not sure about that, but it tastes so good. It's like a really sweet, nice coffee. Real good. I cannot recommend it enough. As you can see at the bottom, you can get 30% off if you subscribe now, or you can also do one-off purchases. They do instant coffee. They do coffee for machines and stuff like that. Use the code ACENation for Sigmatic coffee. I urge you to check it out. Give it a try. See if you like it. Let me know if you do, because obviously you want to keep track of it all, and also want to know if you guys enjoy it as much as I've been. As I've said before as well, I will never promote anything which I haven't tried myself. I don't genuinely recommend. So like if I have tried something or I get sent something and I don't really like it, I'm not going to promote it, because it's just the way I feel about it. Got morals, I suppose. I don't know what you want to call it, but I appreciate you guys, and I don't want to just shill you any old rubbish. So Rodders will be back in a minute, or he'll be in a minute. He's just running a little bit late. I was running a bit late as well. We've got loads to discuss tonight. Big news about obviously Mason Greenwood, the Man United have also put a statement out about that. So it's going to be very, very controversial in some parts, I'm sure, whatever decision they decide to make. They're in a very difficult position. We'll talk to Rhodri about that as a United fan and obviously a football fan. Cardiff City got a new manager. We got a League Cup Final set. Chelsea buying everyone. Financial fair play is pointless. And we got some actual football matches to discuss as well. So lots to discuss. As always, we want your feedback, questions, whatever it may be. But just as we do wait for the latecomers, which is Rhodri, we'll just do a little Super Six update. Sorry, I was just messaging him. Let's have a look. So we got wrong group. So Super Six update. We're doing a Super Six prediction league for charity. As you all know, there's all sorts of ex-footballers and people, myself and Rhodri, and we're just all trying to raise some money for charity whilst testing our football knowledge. A big well done to Caroline Cartwright, who came out on top this week with 15 points. Our highest placed ex-professional was Super Kevin McNaughton on 12 points. Rhodri had a much better week this week with a massive 8 points, and I was just behind on 6, which means he's reduced my lead to a mere 31 points. Next round, 3 o'clock Saturday. Let's go. Rhodri's slowly crawling back the time. I'm interested in what you guys think about all, the stories which have come out, like, the Mason Greenwood thing. I think, and I'm going to put this to Rhodri in a second, the one thing United didn't want was this. They wanted a clear not guilty or guilty. Not guilty, he can go back to playing and they can say he's not guilty, blah, blah, blah. Guilty, contract's gone, he's in prison, blah, blah, blah. This makes it so complicated because people just won't be happy whatever decision they make. There'll be some people who think he should be able to get on with his life and play for Man United. There'll be other people who think that no matter what, he hasn't been found not guilty. The charges have been dropped. It's two very different things in the UK. It's a difficult one. Some sponsors probably won't want anything to do with him, but then were people too quick to jump on the bandwagon and, distance themselves? And then from a footballing point of view, there's also the thing, like a lot of his teammates unfollowed him and were quite posted pictures of their partners and stuff, which seemed to be like a statement without a statement. It's very interesting. Let's speak to the man. Joining me as ever, or for the first time in a couple of weeks, actually, but back. It is Mr. Rhodri Giggs. He can't see him, but
I don't know why there's no picture.
We can hear him. We can hear him. No, that's all right. Come back, baby, come back. So Rodders will be back in a minute. Let's take that off a minute just till he comes back. So it's a very, very difficult one because you don't know, like there's so much speculation about like payoffs, and they're obviously, it seems they're back together. There was rumours of that, and it's a difficult one. Here he is. Oh yeah, mate, I forgot what your face looked like.
Something.
You right, or?
Yeah, you right?
All right, but so mate, we're gonna jump straight in because there's loads to talk about. Obviously, we're gonna start with your club. We'll start with Mason Greenwood. I was just saying to the people, I think that this was the one outcome which United didn't want. They wanted an outright guilty or not guilty, so they could go with a clear path. Whereas this is like, it is what it is, isn't it? It's like it hasn't been. He's not guilty, but for various reasons, they've dropped all charges, and it's like they've made a statement, I believe, today saying that they're gonna do their own investigation and then they'll make a decision from there. There's been rumors for the last couple of weeks that they're back together and stuff like that, and she wasn't going to cooperate and stuff. And we didn't really talk about it a great deal because it was speculation, and we wanted to wait for the actual statement from the CPS and stuff, which has come today. And you're going to have a massive mix of opinions from United fans particularly, but football fans generally. Some people will say he hasn't been charged with anything, so now he should be allowed to continue with his football career, and United should just let him go. Other United fans will say, get him out of my club. We don't want him there. We've heard the recording. Everyone's heard it. So let's just bin him off. Others will say he has a right to a career, but he shouldn't have a career in football. He's a role model, blah, blah, blah. And also then you've got like the sponsor side of it. Do sponsors want to speak to it, have him representing them and stuff like that? And then, of course, then the final sort of thing is the players kind of quite openly unfollowed him and were putting up pictures of their happy relationships on the day that it all sort of come out, as almost like a dig. I don't know. It's where do you stand on it? Like,
well, let's go through them then. Let's go through them one by one. Which one?
So, from a football point of view, purely football, should he play for United again, do you think?
Yes.
Okay. From a moral point of view, as a United fan, do you want to see him play for United again? So complex, isn't it?
Yes.
Would you do you think Ten Hag will want him in that squad, knowing what the team spirit is now, and knowing how quite publicly a lot of them kind of unfollowed him and ditched him on social media and stuff?
Yes.
And to tell you what, one thing it does do is United's need for a striker, were he to come back, is obviously very different, isn't it? When you look at the players they've already got there, they probably wouldn't need some of the players they've been linked with.
Well, let's rewind to 18 months ago, what I was saying about this kid. This kid was an £100 million player, ready and waiting. Yeah. Left foot, right foot, been a Man United star through the ages, free kicks, goals that he scored. Everyone knew about him, and he would be perfect for Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, but then, so here's the thing, right? Is like, if United say, right, no, we don't think it's right, we don't want to keep him, we're going to release him or we're going to sell him, whatever, that someone will employ him, someone will give him a job in football. And do you want to strengthen your rivals? You know, if say Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever, take, for instance, then Partey is playing for Arsenal with the same sort of charges looming. He's been playing week in, week out. So maybe they'll take, maybe if he's available for free, why wouldn't they sign Mason Greenwood? He's not got any court case looming over him. So from a footballing point of view, just football at the moment, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if they release him, someone will sign him. Someone will sign him. He's too good a footballer.
Well, they can't just release him. They'd have to pay him a lot of money.
Yes.
To release him. So,
and they've already paid him throughout this as well. Remember, 75 grand a week.
So. Yeah. So in the eyes of the law, let's look at it in the eyes of the law. He's done nothing wrong.
So this is where I think it gets really difficult, because the charges have been dropped.
Go on.
But so they've been dropped because she's stopped cooperating, basically. But
no.
Hang on. I just want to clarify what I'm going to say. However, there's more to it, because if you read that statement from the CPS, I'll try and bring it up now. They seem to indicate that there was new evidence which had come to light since their last statement, which, for whatever reason, whatever that is, like the whole reason it's taken so long to go to court is because they're still investigating it and they're still building the case. So if they discover evidence, they've discovered something's come up in the last 6 months, which you could tell there was something going on with it behind the scenes. And now they haven't just said, or, the witness is not cooperating or blah, blah, blah. They've literally said they wouldn't be able to take it to court and win.
You can read it like that, or I can read it like that. I know the Manchester CPS, and they've probably got a minute little bit of evidence, and which is probably not massive, but the big thing is the main person is withdrawing because she's been seen him for about a year.
Yeah. Well, me and you, like I said to you privately, like probably a couple of months ago,
that he got arrested because he was breaching his bail because he was with her.
Yeah. So, like, it's a fair. I would. They could still have charged him though, couldn't they? Even though she wasn't cooperating, they could still charge him. So I see a lot of people today saying, he should never play for United again, and then I see a lot of people saying, well, no. But so the people who are saying he should never play for United again are also saying, well, we've all heard the recording.
Right, so I'd look at it, forget Twitter, forget social media, because that's all bullshit. Real Manchester United fans, you'd probably have 40% no and 60%, well, the lad's not done anything. He's a kid. We need to educate him. He's a very, very good player. But he's not a role model. He's a kid. He's 20 years old or whenever this happened. Educate the kid. Put him in some program or put him whatever. Make sure he does something and comes out and whatever. But he can still be a Manchester United player. Yeah,
so like Reece says there in the statement, they say that the realistic prospect of a conviction. That's like the key thing.
Now, playing for England again. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe 5 years down the line when he's scoring 30 goals a season. Possible.
But then
let's see him really playing for England. Around the corner.
But then also,
but let's not forget, he is a very, very good player. So he could go to like someone like Barcelona, Real Madrid, all these abroad top places. He would go there in an instant. Yeah.
And what you got to remember,
go to someone like a mid-table side. It wouldn't happen.
But then, if you look around football, there's people who have done serious things. Marcus Alonso killed
Lee
someone.
Hughes has killed someone. Alonso's killed someone. They've come back and played football. This kid has been proved innocent. Didn't rape anyone. He just talked very, very, very poorly to a woman, which you shouldn't do. Should never do. And yeah, it's just, it's just a spoiled little brat and needs a little slap probably. But you can't talk, you can't act like that. But he's been put in his place. I'm pretty sure he's had a bad 18 months, so he's probably on the right path.
See, the problem you've got.
What you've got is
I find it difficult
with a moral compass of fucking. I'm a saint. Fuck off. It's all bullshit. The kid, he's a kid. The kid, educate him. What are you gonna do? Stop his career? What?
So, do you think he's got to go abroad to continue his career?
No.
I'm just going to look at the United statement because.
No.
So I was looking at so obviously Phil
Manchester United. When you're at a club like Manchester United, they can protect you from all this crap. There's players there done, just not bad, but just all kinds of stuff. They protect you. It's a club that they can. It's a club that they can protect you.
So I just wanted to read you this from Phil Brown, who we both know. Obviously got contacts within the club and stuff, and he said. He just put up on his Twitter as like a statement because obviously he's getting a lot of questions about it all. He says, just remember, it's not up to you to forgive Mason Greenwood. It's only up to Harriet Robson. She can do that, and some things are more important than entertainment. I don't know what the right thing to do is next. Like everyone else, just wish it never happened. And then he says, from day one, I think United have handled it the entire thing impeccably well. Credit where it's due. And then he finishes off by saying there is no time frame on how long United's investigation will take. They don't know, but it obviously starts immediately. What they discover will determine what they do next. Lastly, talking about the Greenwood situation is a minefield. You have to be very careful with your words, because of obviously other people who've been traumatized by similar things, and you don't want people to be petrified of coming forward, etc., etc. And also, so with that, like, I kind of agree with them. I do think United have handled it very well. I don't think they could have handled it any better. I think it's a horrible situation, which I don't know, like, and I kind of flip flop on it. Obviously, I'm not a United fan, so I don't have the sort of the feelings towards, I want to see him play for United again as a footballer. I don't know. But obviously United's decision won't be tied by anything other than what information they get in their own investigation. So if they know why it's been dropped, and that's what people have got to realize as well, is we don't know exactly why they've dropped it. We can speculate, and people are speculating. But you don't know. You don't know what evidence.
I do. The main witness is pulled out.
But that's not new evidence, though. That we knew that, like when he was back, when he broke his bail conditions.
Oh, they've said that today in a statement.
Yeah, but they also said new evidence, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's just a smoke screen. That just because they can't do anything to the main to save face from the CPS because they're fucking incompetent.
But so, like, I've seen a few people in the comments like saying about payoffs and stuff. Like, obviously no one knows about that. But if she's withdrawn because they're back together, or I don't know, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen, if that makes sense. So, like, I don't know, I kind of go back and forth. A part of me thinks he's 20, 21, like, he should be able to get back to his career now. But then another part of me thinks, like, Rob makes a point, if it was my daughter, I wouldn't be happy either. So
I understand that, but at the end of the day, his dad's probably still going to have a relationship with him.
Yeah, it wasn't. You'd have to remind me or tell me if I'm wrong. Wasn't her dad relatively supportive of him initially when it all came out?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a tricky one. Obviously, we'll have more like information as things develop.
He's not guilty. He's innocent. He's just not even gone to court. So it's not even gone to court.
Yeah, and I think that's what people have to remember is, say there was no social media, right? And no one hears that clip until, like, because you wouldn't hear that clip until the court case, would you? Like, in years gone by, if there was no social media, you wouldn't have heard that clip, which means he would have been arrested, he'd have been bailed, and then they would have dropped the charges. So if you look at it like that way, like in terms of how it would have worked in previous years before social media, he would have just got on with his career. He would have had some name calling and blah, blah, blah. But so it's...
You've got to remember, in Ajax, I don't know what Mark Overmars did, but something that Mark Overmars did.
Yeah.
And
he came to Arsenal after that, didn't he?
And Eric Tenard took him back.
Yeah, the list is endless, isn't it, of footballers who have done stuff. And I mentioned the guy from Arsenal who's been playing week in, week out with a similar case hanging over him. On to, like, switching to, like, the football side of things. Reece says, if you forget everything else for a minute, like, how will not playing for 18 months, 2 years have affected him? He might have lost the spark. He might have put on weight. He might have, you don't know. Like, I don't think...
I very much doubt he put on weight. I don't think he was eating much.
But you know what I mean? Like,
waiting on his porridge sentence. I don't think he was eating much.
Like, for instance, if United just make a decision and they say, right, you know, you're going to play for us again, and he is integrated back into the club and all the rest of it. Like, I don't think there's any chance he plays this year anyway, like this season, because I just don't think he'll, between the fitness issue and being integrated back within the team.
Fitness issues. He's a kid. Take him what? 4 weeks to get fit. In March. Take long.
Who should make the final decision for you? Do you think it should solely be down to the manager?
Yeah.
So if Ten Hag says no, I don't want him in the squad, you would go with that, and if he says yes. You would go with that.
I would go with what he's done in the last 6 months. I'm backing this manager 100%. So whatever he whatever he says goes. So be unfortunate, but you shouldn't have put yourself in this position. But if he says he stays, great. Happy. Not happy, but he's a kid. He's made a mistake. Educate the kid. He's not going to make that same mistake again. If he does, then he's a fucking idiot. Well, I very much doubt he's going to make that same mistake again. He's going to have to deal with a lot of shit, which he probably already has done, and he's just got to man up and deal with it because it was his doing. But that's his punishment. That's his punishment.
So in the comments, they say 2 years out, only 4 weeks to get match fit? ? So do you think that's maybe a bit? Do you not think that's a bit of a short period? Just because of his age, do you think?
Well, I'm 45 now. I've not done anything for 7 months because I've ruptured my Achilles. In about a month's time, I will be able to do 5K in 19 minutes, 20 minutes. And I'm 45. He's 20, 21. So, question mark that. Yes, he'll be fit.
Will, just to answer your question, they've been registered.
Match fit? No. But obviously, he was going to get games to get that. But he would be fit enough to play after a month,
Okay.
After training on the mornings and then in the afternoons, day in, day out. That's 28 days.
I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to keep him and Ten Hag keeps him. I wouldn't be surprised if they send him to do a similar thing to what Sancho did, where they send him to out to Holland, where he's completely away from it and he can just concentrate on getting himself together, get fit and stuff. I don't know. I don't think we see him this season, but I could be wrong. Where was that question? There was something I was going to ask you. So Will said about him being registered because he's under 21, or he's been under 21. He's automatically registered because if you remember back in January, everyone was up in uproar like, "Oh, he's back in the squad." He was never out of the squad because he's contracted, and he's always been contracted throughout this period. Because he's under 21, he automatically gets registered for all the different competitions. So he is registered to play the Premier League, the Champions League, whatever, if they want him. So
I think the only problem that Ten Hag's going to have, I think, if he takes him, is some of the players. He'd have to speak to certain players, especially Bruno Fernandes. But some of the players he'd have to speak to. But again, you'd say to the players, listen, he's a kid. He's made a mistake. Educate him. Put your arm around him. That's what I do. I want. He's your teammate. I understand how they all followed him. I don't agree with that. So
I don't know. The problem is the recording sounds so bad, mate.
I'd have slapped him, then put my arm around him, and then what are you doing? And then, but I'm not just unfollow him and
Maybe he won't want to go back, mate. Is the other thing. No one's considering. Maybe he won't want to go back because they all abandoned him and they all done that. But
no, I don't think they abandoned him. I think they did what they had to do,
like a PR type thing.
No, but, it's there's no one person bigger than the club, and the reputation of a club, and so they've got to uphold that reputation by doing.
But to do that, don't they? Doesn't that mean that they cut ties with him if they want to uphold the reputation of the club?
With an innocent person.
But he's not. That's the thing. He's not technically innocent, is he? He's just they haven't brought charges.
By the eyes of the law, he's innocent.
Yeah. I don't know. I just.
And we're a lawful nation. We all stick by the law.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, to me, I not on board with it at all.
All right, so if United get rid of him, and would you take him at Cardiff? He's going to go Cardiff.
No, I wouldn't be happy if Cardiff signed him. I got to be honest.
Oh, fuck off.
I wouldn't, mate. It's the way, because the way I've read it today, and obviously, like, if more stuff comes out, like, I might change my mind. But like, the way I read it is that it's the only reason it's not gone to court is because she's back with him, and it's like,
yeah, because the people fall out and make mistakes and do stuff and do stuff that, you know, I've watched a person who was in a relationship for 30 years since they was kids, and it's the first time he's ever done it. And president of the UFC, Dana White. Well, you know, to be crucified, they didn't crucify him. He's a grown man. Yeah. He's a grown man. But you'll still watch the UFC. You'll still talk about the stuff. It's all hip. There's a lot of hypocrisy.
No, I agree. I do agree. Like,
so, no, come on. Everyone falls out. Everyone does daft shit. You know, educate him. If he does it again, fucking leave. Then he's a stupid idiot. But, you know, let's give the kid the benefit of the doubt. That's what I see it anyway.
I think I agree with you. Like, the hypocrisy around, or like, how Mason Greenwood has been viewed and talked about compared to how Partey has been talked about has been very, very different. Like, Partey's playing week in, week out for Arsenal, but no one's really saying anything.
No, because they can't. His name's not out there. You can't, but everyone knows.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to actual football. Chelsea signed everyone. Chelsea literally are running out of players to sign. I wanted to ask you, mate, right? Enzo Fernandez, they paid, what was it, 120 million or 105 million on the back of Modric and the rest of it. They spent 500 million this season, Chelsea have. How many of those players do you think Graham Potter personally wanted?
That's a good question. I'd say half. I'd say the better ones. There's that Mud, whatever his name is.
Who have they signed? Like João Felix.
João Felix looks a good sign.
Shield.
But he got sent off. I don't know.
Modric, Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, he looks decent, but 106 million is questionable. But you know, I'll buzz in a Benfica or whoever Benfica. I already bought him for 10 million like a year ago.
It's crazy, mate. Like, and look, Enzo Fernandez had he had a good World Cup. I didn't think he was like that good that I'd want to spend that much money on him. Like, he might go on to be one of the best in the world. I'm not saying that, but like, it's a massive investment. Like that Modric, I really like him. He looks so quick. Looks real good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to Chelsea fans have got to be patient though, because it's going to take time because they've signed so many players. Jorginho to Arsenal, mate. That's a bit of an interesting one, I think. What did you think of that?
It's a good signing for Arsenal. 12 million.
It's a cracking signing.
Yeah, 12 million. Absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
For squad players, you're not playing every week, is he?
No. But you look at that, like Arsenal obviously doing very well. We've talked a lot about what, you know, are they going to bottle it? Are they going to do the usual? They lost to City in the FA Cup. Obviously, you know, you have a few changes.
They played very well, though.
Yes, they did.
The changes they had.
I haven't spoken to you since the United game, like on the show, but like one of the things which impressed me in the United game was actually the difference between previous years was they had a bit about them, even from the game earlier in the season. They had a bit involved, didn't they? And
they had a better team that day. United struggled second half.
Well, they missed Casemiro so much, and I think that's why this Sabitzer is a cracking signing.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people. So Paul Merson makes me laugh. Absolutely, so clueless, but like saying it's a panic buy and
Paul, no research, Merson.
Yeah, but like Sabitzer to me, because one of my friends asked me about him, and I've seen quite a bit of him, especially when he was at Red Bull. Like, to me, he's very similar to Eriksen in the way he distributes the ball, but what he does do is he presses and he's much more aggressive in the tackle and he's much more busy. So actually, in some ways, I think he's a better partner for, not that he's better than Christian Eriksen, because Christian Eriksen's been sensational this year, but like he's almost like a better partner for Casemiro in terms of controlling the game, because he can do the physical side and the technical side. but he's they needed a short-term player. They didn't want to go and spend, and they didn't need to go and spend 100 million on a midfielder or whatever, because they need someone until the end of the season when they know if they've got new owners and the rest of it. Like, I just think cracking signing straight away. And I just think it's exactly, he can hit the ground running, good age, good enough, better than Fred and McTominay. Just a cracking little signing, I thought. But I think Arsenal have made some excellent signings in the window. And Man City got to find consistency, or Arsenal going to run away with it. Question from Rob Boyle: how good is Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah, he's been good ever since he's come.
He has been very consistent, haven't he, since United come. Like, I thought, like, I think giving him the captaincy this year, where Harry Maguire's been out, or even I think he had it a bit last year, but like having the captaincy seems to bring even more like good qualities out of him. He seems to take it on board, and he seems to try and take the team forward. But it's his vision, mate, which does like really hits for me. Like, interesting. Sancho played number 10 last night when he came on, and Fernandes was the one who went out to the right, and they scored from it.
I've got a good feeling about this Sancho. I think he's going to come on.
Well, people been slating him, but actually, he scored some important goals this year. Scored some important goals this year, Sancho did, for United. He scored that really good goal against Liverpool, where he sold Van Dijk the one way. And, you know, there's a lot of quality there with him. Like, if he can get a tune out of him, that's like a new signing. I am fascinated by the Premier League, mate. Honestly, the top 4 is really interesting to me, because I think
be watching that job. You watch every week. Go on.
Oh, mate, I can't even just, it ruins my night every time I talk about it. So I'm saving it to last. It ruins me. But like Arsenal, mate, I've been massively impressed with the job that Mikel Arteta has done, because last year people like Piers Morgan and all these idiots, when they were bottom of the league at the start, the job's too big for him, etc., etc. I asked the question, I think, to you, but I was not saying he should be sacked. I was saying, you know, should he be sacked? Is it too good for him? Too big for him? Whereas now, you look at the job he's built. I'd have to go back and look, mate. You probably said he should be sacked, didn't you?
No.
Tell you who's good. Brighton.
Yeah.
Beating Liverpool twice, mate, in the recent weeks.
Not missed a beat, that manager, has he? Done a good job.
Considering they lost Graham Potter and everyone thought they was, and it was the player he took with him. One of their best players. I've not missed, like you say, not missed a beat. That what's his name? The what's his name? I gotta have to look because I can't remember. Is he a Japanese player? I think he is. So you obviously got Moses Casidos, looked like he was going to go and then didn't. But what's his name? The boy who scored against Liverpool, scored the winner against Liverpool. Mitomo. What a goal that was, the way he just flicks it over the defender and the pressure. Yeah. But like, he was awesome in the first Liverpool game a couple of weeks back when they beat him 4-0. I think Liverpool got massive problems, mate. I really like, and I know people think he hates Liverpool because I make it clear that I'm not a fan. But like, I really believe Liverpool have got massive problems, mate, because I look at the top 6 as it is now: Arsenal, Man City, United, Newcastle, Man United, Tottenham, Brighton, Fulham, Brentford. Apart from Fulham and Brentford, that's like, so the actual top 6, they're all better than Liverpool at this current state of time. And Liverpool, I know you at the start of the season, you said they got a lot of injuries and stuff, but some of those players are back now and they look worse. They're less consistent than they were previously.
Yeah, Van Dijk, they missed Van Dijk. Van Dijk's not he's.
I think he goes, Van Dijk.
I think he's. We heard this before. But I've told you this before. I think he's going to AC Milan. I think he goes somewhere like that, Italy, AC Milan or something like that.
And I think like 3 years there in Italy would be the perfect end. When you look, so you got to remember, like, he hasn't got the ties to Liverpool and the local area and stuff like that a Gerrard had or someone like that.
He don't even live in Liverpool. He lives in flipping Cheshire, near where the United players live in Wimslow, Old the Edge.
But like, he played
about 50 minutes, so he lives in Manchester and Cheshire.
He won stuff in Celtic. He played for Southampton. He's won stuff at Liverpool. Why wouldn't he now at the age he's at? He wants to do stuff with Holland. Hasn't quite happened. Why wouldn't he go and play in Italy, which would probably prolong his career because you're going to pick up more injuries, I think, in the Premier League than you are in the Serie A. So, yeah, I just foresee big problems. But then we say there's big problems for Liverpool. Chelsea are behind them. Only on goal difference.
Chelsea have just spent 500 million quid.
Yeah, that's pretty true, isn't it? 500 million quid. Jesus Christ. Mad, mate.
There's like a thing, a caption said, Chelsea have spent more in this transfer window than Brentford's entire history.
This is mental, that, isn't it?
Something like 320 odd million or something.
Yeah. Very quickly, before we kind of switch over to the championship and predictions and stuff like that.
I've got 8.
Carabao Cup, mate. How do you feel about that as a United fan? And obviously Newcastle's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, someone's going to be unhappy that day. So, be a good game. Be a really good game. It's only like 28 days away, 20 odd days away. So yeah, be a really good game. Hopefully, we keep some people that fit, get the right players back. It looks like everyone's coming back now. So, yeah, things looking good. You know, Dalot's coming back soon. Got cover. Sancho's back. Martial's back. So we've got cover now for Weghorst or vice versa. So
Sabitzer's coming in.
Sabitzer's just come in. So, yes, we've lost Ericsson, but, you know, Sabitzer comes in. So that's kind of masks that. So, yeah, things looking good. Rashford's on fire. So Bruno Fernandes is looking good. Casemiro's on fire. Fred's even scoring. So, yeah. Eric is at the wheel.
Yeah, I think, look, mate, I think the League Cup, when you get to the last stages, I think is the perfect way to really go into the end of the season.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if whoever wins that at the end of the month,
you'd expect them
to really finish the season strongly.
It's not about getting to finals; it's about winning. Love that.
That's it. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We'll talk about that closer to the time, obviously. The championship. Anthony Gordon, mate. I didn't get to speak to you about him last week. What do you think of his? What do you think of his behaviour? Forcing that move at his boyhood club. Do you think he was justified?
Everything surround his car when he's going home.
They did. And
yes,
I said
that wouldn't have helped, would it?
No. Well, I said last week, no one knows why he hasn't gone to training. You don't know if he's asked the club for extra security and they've refused it. And that's why he's not going in. I'm not saying that is the thing. Like, he didn't show up to training for 3 days. And everyone says, he's after money and he wants to move.
I think you've got to give the boy a little bit of slack. I think, you know.
He's young, isn't he?
He's young. And
they surrounded his car, mate. Like, that is intimidating.
He's young. Yes, they surround his car. But, you know, you look at Newcastle, they're on a trajectory that are going up. Everton struggling.
45 million, though, mate, for a lad who's not really done
too much. He's 15 million, 20 million tops. But, you know, it's inflation. It's mad. It's mad.
Newcastle got bottomless pit, mate, so don't mind it.
Think the players back in the day, what they go for these days. And
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Some of these players are just poor.
It's mad, mate, how much money they go for.
I know.
Cardiff finally replaced Mark Hudson. You had Sabri Lamucci, former Nottingham Forest manager, with Sol Bamba as his assistant. This was about as good as we could have been, I think, in terms of selections. I've spoken to a few Forest fans, a couple of my mates, and they speak so highly of him, the way he plays. He said he'll get the squad playing and stuff like that, get the players really going. Didn't see it this week, but I mean, he didn't have a great deal of time.
Give him a chance.
Yeah, didn't he gave him some time, and I think hopefully he'll keep Cardiff up. But look, mate, we need goals, and we do not have anyone to score them, which is a problem. But the Burnley look absolutely sensational in the Championship. I've really been enjoying watching them play. I saw that Swansea City are sickened by the disgusting online racist abuse of Michael Obafemi. I don't know. He plays for Swansea. So my point is, right, social media, very quick. Do you think it's well overdue that you have to show like ID and stuff to have a social media account?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's so overdue, it's unreal. Like we had the same conversation at the end of the Euros. What was that? 2 years ago?
It's so easy.
18 months ago?
It's so easy to implement. Just so easy. It's boom. That's it. You only have to do it once. That's it.
Yeah, but I don't understand why it takes so long for these solutions to happen.
Yeah,
and then you've got like
very, very easily.
You've got human beings being like racially abused and stuff.
Yeah, people killing themselves.
Yeah,
on a daily basis.
And
for
we can't. Yeah.
100%,
mate. From trolling and not just footballers, by the way, just normal people as well who'd get trolled and abused because I'm
a normal person. I get trolled all the time.
No, mate, I bet you do.
And my mental health is in absolute tatters over it.
It seems like you're really affected by the abuse you get.
I will wipe my tears with my Paddy Power dollars. I'll be okay.
Ambassador Rodders. Live for the rewards.
Just not sign a new 6-month contract. Evening, Paddy. Evening, Uncle Paddy.
Live for the rewards. Loyalty's dead.
Cheltenham next month.
Here we go, mate. Why not? Why not, indeed? Jack and Cardiff stay up, mate?
Pardon?
Jack and Cardiff stay up?
Yeah.
You do reckon they'll stay up now?
Yeah. This manager and Solo sort them out.
It's a very good appointment, I think.
Yeah.
It's the board have got to go now, mate. And
get the crowd. They need to get the fans behind them. Get that crowd. Look, the other day it was empty. Come on.
But how do you get the fans in, mate? You get the fans in by winning football matches, and
true.
But then also by building it. If you build excitement, whether it's through signings or how the direction that the club's going.
Yeah.
And before this manager came in, the direction was down. Everything about it was like negative momentum. We're losing football matches. I think we're in massive trouble, and I don't think there's any guarantee that this manager keeps them up. And by the way, if they go down, it's not on this manager. It's not on Mark Hudson. It's not on Steve Morrison. It's on
the board out. There's a lot of bad boards about, isn't there?
Oh, mate, it's unreal. And we,
no, there's a lot of
financial fair play, mate. What's that? What's financial fair play?
Strikes, people protesting. It's all going on.
Yeah, I think.
And then what stays normal is Shell have earned 32 billion this year. Oh my!
And my gas bill's about to go up to like more than my rent or my mortgage or anything else. Like,
how do you?
Bye, Rodders. I think his battery's just run out. I'd assume. We'll see if he comes back. If you've got any questions, get him in quickly then, and we'll have a little chat to finish off. But before I wrap up. But obviously, I don't want to talk about Mason Greenwood anymore, so don't ask any questions about that. Let's talk about football. What do people make of Chelsea? I'm interested in like the amount of money they've spent. Like, I just don't understand how you can justify financial fair play with 500 million.
I was thinking to myself, I've got my other phone. Why don't I just use my other phone?
Like, financial fair play is a joke, mate, isn't it? Let's be honest, because there's no way Chelsea are generating that amount of money from their whatever day-to-day businesses.
I know the prices are bad at the bridge, but they're not that bad.
Yeah, but then I saw some people saying like the changes which they're looking to bring in is gonna affect the Premier League sort of big boys quite significantly because I haven't read it extensively, but something like. They are going to make it a bit more stringent on what you bring in and how much debt you've got, which obviously is going to have a massive effect. And then people were saying that's why they're spending it now before these new rules come in. So I don't know. Like, to me, I think it's obscene amount of money. But I also think if those rules were going to make that much difference, we'd have probably seen Newcastle just blow 500 million as well.
Yeah,
you know,
but Newcastle haven't needed to.
No, they haven't. But I would suggest to you that that Chelsea didn't need all those players
Newcastle
either.
have got their structure, which is how they're doing it, and Chelsea have got their structure, which they've done always since even when Roman Abramovich started paying daft prices in the early 2000s when we was thinking 30 million, 35 million for him. That's daft. We're doing the exact same thing, but it's just gone up and up and up, just more. It's always done that, Chelsea. Now, are they going to keep the same manager or are they going to keep the same mould? That would be an interesting thing because they've always bought the expensive players. Not necessarily the best players, but expensive players. It's Chelsea, innit? Chelsea.
Yeah, but
Chelsea.
when this new owners come in, it was supposed to be different, wasn't it? They appointed Potter and everything was going to be different. And then they've just done exactly the same, just signed all these players like nonsensically almost, just buying. It's like they're on like Championship Manager or something, just buying like anything and anything that they can get their hand, anything with a release clause, basically. They just sort of signed. And look, they might work out and it might have proved to be some sort of masterstroke. But to me, it's just, I don't know. I just don't see how it can work. And I think Graham Potter will be gone in the summer myself. Because they're not going to get in they're not going to get in Europe.
Well, I had a bet with my mate because he's a mad Potter fan. And I went, I'll guarantee you that Eddie Howe finishes above Potter. He went, oh, I've got no chance. All right. We'll see.
Well, yeah, that's already. I can't see Chelsea catching them anytime soon.
Amateur hour.
But then, I honestly think like they're going to finish maybe 8th, 7th, 8th, maybe getting the Europa League. I think that would be a good season from where they are now. So if that happens, it's like, all right. So they get in the Europa League. Is that enough for Graham Potter to keep his job? It should be because he should be building something. No, but if they're the way that Chelsea go about their business, it probably isn't, is it?
Yes, but they're saying they're going to change the mould and not going to do that, sacking managers anymore. So we'll see if they've got some cojones.
Yeah, they got to stick to it, I guess.
Yeah. You've got to give him time. You got to look what he's done at Brighton. He's not a quick fix manager. He's a guy that needs time. So unless he doesn't continue with this, because if he continues on the path that he's going, then they'll have to get rid of him. But I think that the signings they've just brought in, I think that'll just give him that extra boost. It's still going to take time to bed him in, but I just think that extra quality we'll see him get into that 5th spot.
Yeah,
and you'll see a late surge from him.
I'm not sure if they'll get 5th, but I agree that the quality is there. Still not
be above Super Eddie.
So where, for Brighton, mate, where do you see their ceiling? Over the next 3 years, where do you see their ceiling?
8th. That's it.
You don't think they can break into the top 6 or get in the Champions League,
No.
even how good they are now, and if they were to add a couple of players and investment and stuff, you just think they're not big enough to really push into that.
Sustain it now. All the best players are getting poached. They can't continue to do this. You know that, don't you?
I think Mitoma will probably go in the summer, for instance, because he's done so well. And unfortunately, that's what happens, isn't it? The Caicedo nearly went in the January window and then didn't.
All the best players are getting picked off.
Did you hear about that?
Some more will go in the summer. So unless they keep this recruitment up, but it's impossible to keep this. It's impossible.
Keep finding those superstar from nowhere players. Yeah,
I think that Conceido's on some $3,000 a week or something.
Yeah, he's on something ludicrous, wasn't he, compared to the rest of the Premier League? Do you know? Did you hear about that Zikic? Is it from Chelsea?
What was his name?
Where all Zikic or something? I don't know. But he obviously where all the players were coming in wanted to go to Paris.
Oh, is that the Moroccan kid?
No, I think he's Ukrainian, isn't he? I don't know, but he might be. But yeah, so they cocked up his fax basically, they sent the fax or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't do it once or twice, did it 3 times, didn't they?
Yeah, and fucked it up every time. So
what imbeciles.
And he's not going to play now, is he? For the rest of the season, really? Let's be honest.
Well, I think he will because he's registered to the Champions League. So,
yeah, I suppose it depends how many of the players they've got brought in.
They can only register 3 of these players out of the 8. These new players.
Ah, okay. Ah, right. Okay. So yeah, I suppose he might get some Champions League games.
Talk on the way home, so he's going to have to pick 3 of them. And out of the 3, it comes down to 6 because one of them still needs a work permit and another one's whatever. But out of the 6, and they were picking, they'd probably go with obviously the most expensive, Fernandez, that Mudrich, whoever his name is, and then the third one I don't know.
That's interesting. But then TalkSport also told me that Casemiro was a panic buy, and what did Graham Souness call him?
TalkSport. That was
Graham Souness said he's a steady Eddie player, and he's not world class.
Yeah, no.
Still makes me chuckle.
Had an absolutely Reggie blinker there, Graham, hadn't he?
Yeah, but he'll never admit it. He's more likely to double down on it, I think.
He had an absolute Reggie blinker.
Interestingly, though, that Sabitzer, I think, enables them to rest Casemiro maybe for 1 or 2 games. So
possibly.
Which I don't think they were able to do before that.
No. But as a player, if you're fit and there's games every 3, you play, yeah. The last thing you want to do, really, is train. It's boring. Yeah. It's boring. But you have to do it. And
do you know what I think?
Every day. But where if you're playing games, you're playing games. The next day it's recovery. You train, a good training session, and then the next training session probably shape and getting ready for the game, and then it's the game. Boom, and do that continuously. So you're only really training once a week, so it's sweet, and you're playing twice a week, so it's sweet.
Do you think I think
players would rather that? Yes, it's a lot, but
you'd rather do that than train.
Yeah, of course you would.
But you know who I think goes under the radar, which Ten Hag has really helped this year, is Rafael Varane.
Yeah, he's just retired, hasn't he?
Because for international football.
Yeah.
Have he? Yeah. Well, at the start of the season, he when Ten Hag came in, he asked him to do a strength and conditioning thing, didn't he? And he was a bit if you believe the papers, Varane was a bit taken aback, but he did it and he was stuck to it. How many times has he been injured this year compared to the last 5? Whatever he's doing with him,
he's retired, and I'm sure they were going to make him captain as well, but he's retired. Yeah,
I think he's been now so good this year. He has real world class defender. He is. Right, predictions to finish, mate.
Quick, 'cause I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm hungry. What are you having?
I'm not sure. I might even just get a KFC.
Oh, KFC. I fancy chip shop chips, curry sauce, chicken leg.
Chippy, yeah. Well, chippy.
Nice. Super 6 predictions. Come on, load. Right. You made up 2 points on me last week, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah. Sweet.
Getting there. Only 31 to go.
Go on then. Which ones?
So, Man United versus
30,
Palace.
30.
31 ahead I am, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you fell well behind, mate.
Go on.
United versus Palace at Old Trafford. I've gone 3-1 United.
3-0.
I think they'll have a point to prove after the last game. Wolves 2. I've gone Wolves 2, Liverpool 1. But it's at Wolves, Liverpool.
Liverpool 1-0.
Brighton 2, Bournemouth 0. I've gone at Brighton.
3-1 Brighton.
Newcastle versus West Ham. I've gone 2-1 Newcastle.
2-2. Where's that at Newcastle?
At Newcastle, yeah.
All right, yeah, 2-0.
I've got 1-0 for this one. Forest versus Leeds at Forest.
2-2.
And Spurs versus Man City at Spurs.
4-2. City.
4-2. Interesting. I've gone 3-1 City. Yeah, but I think I can't see Spurs. Even though it's at Spurs, I find it difficult to believe that Spurs will be able to beat City. But you never know, I guess.
Well, the bogey team City got Tottenham.
Yeah, it's always goals in that game as well, isn't there? So we'd think it'll be a good game. 0-0 incoming. Nice one. Let's go.
45 minutes. That's an hour.
It's your fault. You were late, mate. That's why.
True.
Right. Nice. Appreciate you as always, mate. I appreciate your honesty, mate, if nothing else.
No, that's sweet.
Your good looks. That's what I want. You know, it's what we do. Honest opinions, whether people agree or not, don't matter. There he is. Go on. The mascot. Let's go. Nice one, mate. See you next week. Check out the great debate tomorrow.
Sure.